I'm going to start with a heartwarming story of the day, and it comes from Elon Musk's brother, Kimball. Here he is in his Instagram picture with his Tesla Model 3, sixth one ever made, VIN number 006, and he's offering it up to for everybody to win. Well, not for everybody really, for just one person to win, but you can do a good deed and donate to his charity, to his children's charity. We don't really hear about Kimball much, but he runs a charity, and he is what a great way to draw attention to a good cause. Yeah, I put a link in the description of this video. You can go there, you can donate anywhere from a few bucks to all the way to like $5,000. Of course, the more you donate, the bigger chance of you winning this car is. It's a fully loaded with all options, the blue Model 3. Of course, I'm hoping you're going to do it mainly because you want to donate to his charity, but of course, a chance to win this car should just be a nice little perk. So I encourage you guys to do it. We don't hear much about him, so this is great that he is in the news. We'll see what happens with it. I think you have like 60 more days to contribute, and hopefully we'll do a story, and somebody will do a story about the winner of this car. Let's move on to another Tesla news. And you know, I don't know if you've noticed, but if you're looking to buy a Model S or a Model X, there's a line now, actually a pretty long line, about 5 to 6 months worth for either one of these, and this is kind of snuck up on us. I just noticed the article in Electrek. They've basically brought it up to everyone's attention, and there are a few reasons for that. Well, first of all, it looks like the $7,500 credit is going to be going away by the end of the year, so people are trying to make sure that they reserve their Model S and Model X, because it doesn't only apply to Model 3, right? And that's why there's a backlog. It is a bit surprising because everybody thought that the Model 3 was going to kind of steal a lot of sales from those who bought a Model S, Model X, maybe a little bit out of their budget, but now they can buy a Model 3, especially with Model 3 being sold right now at almost the highest possible price. It doesn't look like it's taking it away from the Model S or Model X sales at all. So kudos to Tesla to, you know, keeping up with demand. Of course, I'll be interested to see what happens. I mean, we all are, I'm assuming, interested to see what happens when the incentive, the tax credit here in the United States goes away, pretty much probably at the beginning of the next year, and we'll see how whether can Tesla now walk on their own. All indications are that they really able to do that. So yeah, I gotta tell you, I'm a little bit surprised. I have to say that I thought it's maybe a couple of months, like it's always been about a couple of months wait, mainly because it takes about 4 to 5 weeks to make one, and if you order it, usually they make it from scratch from you, like Chipotle, Subway, right? So yeah, that's I have to say, I mean, I just kind of took me back a little bit. I mean, it makes sense with a credit going away, but nevertheless, it is definitely good news. Don't forget, they don't make more of them than they before. They're kind of going to be settled in at around 100,000 per year of both of these cars. So, and of course, demand is going up more. This car is being sold to more and more different countries. More and more people are interested in this. And now with the Model 3 having all of this publicities, people are walking into their showrooms, looking at a Model 3, and then buying a Model S or a Model X. So yeah, it is. As a matter of fact, if you're a Tesla owner and you put a reservation down on a Model 3, you can get a Model 3 faster than a Model S. I mean, let me repeat that. If you're a Tesla owner and you decide to buy a Model 3 right now, you'll probably get your configuration email almost immediately, and it takes about, what, 4 weeks to make one. So you essentially can get your Model 3 much faster if you were to just go ahead and go with a Model S or a Model X. So that's very, very interesting. All right, well, let me remind you guys that this feed and this channel is sponsored by Avanex, the aftermarket accessories for Tesla. Also in the description of this video, your personal discount code, so you can save a few bucks if you decide to shop there, as I do myself. Let's move on to another story. Mercedes-Benz is announced and unveiled this new all-electric truck. It's only going to be available in Europe, from what I understand. It's not coming to America anytime soon. It's going to have 2 motors and 2 lithium-ion batteries. Together, they're going to have an output of about 240 kilowatt-hour. I was kind of excited as I was reading that, and then I read what the range this truck is going to have, which is 125 miles. Thus, this spawned semi-effort. I mean, in their statement, I believe one of their executives was giving an interview, and they were kind of doubting the ability of Tesla to produce a semi-truck with the specs that they're promising. They believe that they might have missed something if that really is going to turn into reality, because, you know, they're saying that the physics in Germany are just the same as the physics in California, and therefore they don't believe that Tesla is able to achieve that. Obviously, I mean, we're all expecting there was some sort of a breakthrough in the lithium-ion technology that Tesla is working on. I believe there was a story coming out, what, a couple of days ago. There were a bunch of researchers that found out a new method of how you can measure the temperature and control the temperature in a battery, and therefore charge it like 5 times as fast. So that looks like it is possible. But, you know, Mercedes Daimler, the parent company, is coming up with this thing and saying that Tesla might be full of it. We'll see who's right. My money, of course, is with Tesla. And talking about a semi-truck, if you want to get behind the wheel of one and drive around the circles, and by the way, it's in the Bay Area now. There are a few spy shots of this truck driving, the prototype of the semi-truck driving somewhere between the factory and a Sunnyvale location. So hopefully I'll see one. But you can go ahead in the description of this video, click on the referral link that I have for you, and don't have to buy anything. Just submit your email address for their newsletter, and both you and I will be entered to win a chance to do this. Hopefully I can cover it for this community as well. Well, Volvo, as you guys know, have committed to electrifying their fleet ahead of almost every other manufacturer, and looks like this one XC40 compact SUV is going to be the first one. Now, everybody thought that the Polestar, the company that kind of now is basically their ugly child, was going to kind of take care of the electrification of their fleet, but it looks like that hasn't really been going very well. So this is going to be this car. Now, they've unveiled this car. This is kind of still a concept, I guess, but this is going to be a gas car at first, and then they said that they're going to create a hybrid, a plug-in hybrid, and an all-electric version of this car. They didn't really give any timelines, but it's got to be pretty soon. Again, not really sure why they're going with a fully, you know, gas-powered car instead of just kind of going it all the way with an electric one, but it is what it is. I personally think the design needs to be a little bit different, like the door handles need to be a little bit aerodynamic friendly. But again, Volvo has been on the front line of at least the promises and the whole moving forward to electrify their fleet. So kudos to them. I'm definitely looking forward to it. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, if you're enjoying this channel, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, because it does much better in the replays. And you know, 95% of people who watch this watch it in the replay. Derek in the chat room says, just because they don't believe Tesla doesn't mean it is not true. Slow adopters. Listen, my money is on Elon Musk. Obviously, he has so far delivered everything he's promised. Not always on time. Oh, actually, almost never on time. But absolutely, I believe it when he says that the specs are what they are. In Vegas, they say always bet on black, says DRK. I think automakers need to think of Tesla that way. They aren't perfect, but they have been killing them. Absolutely. Tesla P85D now says in the chat room, 240 kilowatt hour. Roadster is 200 kilowatt. Yeah, well, so don't forget, those are 220 kilowatt hour batteries together. That's from what I understood from their press release. I could be wrong, but I thought that's exactly what I read just about an hour ago. Volvo has a C30 electric version, but they do not want to build an electric car, says Gabriel Pop. Well, they say they do. They say they do want to electrify their fleet, so I'm going to believe them. I mean, they really have turned around, I think, their brand lately with their new look and with their new strategy, so I am looking forward to it. So it is definitely, hopefully, happening. All these companies are floundering, says Monkey Ride, because they are nowhere near Tesla at the moment, so they're saying whatever they can to discredit them. Yes, I know, but of course he left a little bit of a wiggle room there, saying unless we miss something, right? That's what he said. All right, here's another story that's about a car brand. It's an exotic car brand called Koenigsegg. Koenigsegg. I don't know if I'm pronouncing right. I actually almost don't care, because, you know, it's an exotic car that very few people can afford. And one of their founders was being interviewed about, you know, kind of moving forward to the electrification and creating, obviously, electric cars with a lot of electric car, Roadster and a supercar news, from, you know, Tesla Roadster to Rimac, and we just did a Spark Owl story yesterday. And what he said was very disappointing. He basically said that, yeah, we can totally electrify one of these cars that we make probably in 5 to 10 years. And I was a little blown away that why even mention that and I guess he's saying it's harder to electrify a sports car than to electrify a sedan, and there is some truth to that. But at the same time, you know, with all of these stories within the last, what, half a year, just like I said, Tesla Roadster, Rimac doing their second version of the car, and the Spark Owl, and, you know, a lot of other exotic companies, smaller companies working on electric cars that are just beating the crap out of the gas cars. With all of those news, I'm not really sure how he can just come out and say how hard it is and it's only going to be available within 5 to 10 years. So Alex Z says, no, it's pronounced as Koenigsegg. Koenigsegg. All right, fine. I still don't care because they're obviously really don't deserve my attention as far as this statement is concerned. I thought I would just kind of share this with you guys because I thought they're a little bit full of it. Let me know if you think they have some merit in what they're saying. But 5 to 10 years to electrify their cars, I think, is a little out there. All right, let's move on to the best part of the show, at least for me, as far as I'm concerned, the comment of the day. And this comment actually comes from a video that I've done a while back. I've done a few, you know, buying versus leasing videos, and this comes from Kev Allen. And he disagrees with me because I recommend people leasing cars for most of the time. There are some exceptions where lease is really not for you, but paying cash for car is always better financial decision, says him. If you take a loan out for a car, you're paying not only for the final sales price, but interest on the loan on top of that. Okay, so I disagree on many levels. I kind of felt like he didn't really even watch my videos, but first of all, it is never a good decision, never good financial decision to invest as much of your money as possible into something that never appreciates and always depreciates, and depreciates very fast, especially up front. So that's just, I think, a general statement. You don't have to be a financial whiz. Also, you will be paying final sales price no matter whether you lease or buy. So I'm not really sure if you understand how that works. Yes, so dealerships always trying to sell you the MSRP price when you're leasing it, but you can negotiate to the car before even tell them. As a matter of fact, that's what I recommend. Negotiate the final price of the car before you tell them whether or not you're going to lease it, because, you know, then they won't pull that trick on you. But no, that final sales price should not and will not depend on whether or not you're leasing or buying it. But most importantly, yeah, you're going to be paying some financial charges when you're getting a loan, but at the same time, they're very small when you're leasing. The lease rates are very small. Secondly, I already talked to my video. In my video, you save a lot of money on not paying the full tax. You get your tax cut in half. You make a little bit of money if the price of the car goes higher than the residual value, and you don't lose the money when it goes below that, when you're ready to return the car. And there are a lot of other little things. You just should probably watch my video, but there are tons of incentives why you should lease your car, with a very few exceptions. You know, I fully disagree, but I just kind of wanted to restart this topic because I would like to continue talking about buying versus leasing and making sure that we talk about it, because it is a big decision. You can save a lot of money if you decide to lease instead of buying. Helmut P in the chat room says, does a lease help your credit score or only if you finance? Just curious. You know, I'm not a financial advisor. I believe it should be the same, because you're taking the loan out and then you're paying it off at some point. So I say it's probably not, but it's something you should probably look up or ask your financial advisor. Let's see. Are you guys talking between yourselves? I'm sorry, who the hell has 35RK minimum in cash, says Bromance. Well, people have money, but nevertheless, that doesn't matter how much money you have. It's how smart you spend it, right? And I think lease works for most of the people. That was a lot of news, guys. By the way, thank you for those of you guys who watched me as a guest on a video show earlier today on Facebook. I really appreciate all of the support. This video, that show was really more about how to do well on YouTube. and in my journey to 10,000 subscribers. But nevertheless, thank you for those who supported me there and watched that video. All right, I will see you guys at 11 a.m. Pacific time, PT. Tomorrow, we're gonna have way more news probably than even today, even though we had what, 5 stories. All right, other than that, I'm already losing it. So guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Stay charged. Bye bye.